DOT had, I believe, I think I managed to have it here. They had $238,000, and I'm not sure if that was Transportational Regional Incentive Program grant funds or scrap funds in order to pave a dirt road. But Mr. Selby is correct. Our biggest problem was dealing with JEA and what they wanted for the value of their land. And there was no way for us to fund it at that time, so at that time the board removed it from the CIP. And I know in the updated Florida Department of Transportation work program, they're also removing it from their work program.
Okay, then my question is, if radio is off the road, it is off the table, is there any projects going on that maybe not go into radio, but somewhere to get traffic? Because I'm getting complaints about how long it takes more in the afternoon than in the morning. And I was out there Thursday, a week ago, and I sat through 5 cycles of the traffic light. And I don't know if the traffic light can be adjusted for certain periods of time, but I sat through 5 cycles. It took me that long to even get up there to make a right-hand turn.
This is coming north from
Going towards day one, coming out of the school, and I heard, and one parent was talking to the SRO about, helping traffic move faster out of the school, but you move it out of the school and then you hit it trying to get out of, onto A1A going left or right. So I didn't know if there are any projects going in where part of the project can be opening up something, with a development going in or something that could give access. And that's just throwing out as, possible consideration.
No, Peter's here as well. Peter, you know of anything in the works you want to come up? I don't know if you heard the discussion. Scott, while you're there, are you aware of anything? I'm not aware of anything.
I'm not aware of anything. We did ask the DOT to consider installing a right turn lane there, and that's part of the 6 laning of State Road 200. They're not able to do it due to right-of-way constraints. One of the things they are doing, though, is when they construct the new traffic signal there, the pole in the southeast corner, they're going to have it located far enough back and in a location where a right turn lane can be constructed in the future without having to relocate the traffic signal pole.
Okay. Peter, before you, Scott, last going back to the traffic light, I know I get lots of complaints about traffic lights not being synchronized. I know they're kind of so far away, but if you're going to deal with it, or maybe some of these type of intersections, maybe can be synchronized somehow, or is there a better way to manage this traffic congestion?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, school board members, we have special timing patterns that run during the morning and afternoon. It's just the traffic is so heavy. As part of the 6 laning of 200, we're putting in a new signal system, new fiber optic connections. It's more of a demand responsive. It's supposed to adjust better to the traffic in real time, as opposed to just traffic signal patterns we have there that are based on time of day. So we're hoping that is one of the issues that construction will help this and any other intersection along that deals with, the non-peak hour congestion. Because normally we're looking at it in terms of rush hour, but we also realize in the morning and in the school letting out in the afternoon, there are also issues that have to be dealt with there. So we're hoping there will be some additional benefit to the 6 lane that will come as part of this.
Sounds good, thanks, Scott. Peter, anything to add? Planning standpoint, anything?
I think Scott covered it really well, with this comprehensive things that we're trying to work out. There's the construction that's really slowing things down, like Scott said, and there's ITS that will kick in once all the construction's finished, and we're also working on transit, of course, for the future of the county, which is going to take even more traffic off of it. So I think we're looking at a temporary situation.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Scott. Anything else?
I'll just add to it, Mr. Chairman. I think one problem that exacerbates that issue there
had mentioned something about transit, you know, the county looking at transit. Can you elaborate a little bit on that and how that might impact the school system?
Yeah, Nassau County, and Peter, you might want to come up and talk a bit more on the table that, I know the Nassau County has a transit study for Nassau County and the roadways and how we can better move people to different, not only different parts of the county, but also into Jacksonville, take advantage of maybe JTA and transfer off some of their bus lines and what have you. And I know there's a meeting, actually we have a meeting next week, I believe, with the director of JTA to talk about that. So that's in the making. We had a great study done just, 2 months ago, actually won an award for the study for Nassau County. But Pete, do you want to elaborate a little bit more?
The Nassau County Transit Study was a comprehensive look at our transportation issues. It evaluated our current transit system, which of course is the Council on Aging. A lot of people think that that's only for paratransit, for handicapped and elderly, actually anybody can ride it. So what the study shows is that we could have an expanded system. We could have increased headways. We could have a express service that could go from some major points in Yulee and Ferndale to Jacksonville. And so we're talking about alleviating the amount of traffic during peak hour times. So if that peak hour time coincides with what's going on in the morning at the schools, then that's going to make it easier for the schools to operate. So it's not a direct benefit to the schools, it's an indirect benefit because there'll be less traffic and more, hopefully, operational freedom for the school buses and drop-off and pickups during the peak morning time.
So you mentioned Julie and Fernandina. Was there also mention opportunities for the west side?
There is currently service for the west side, and ironically, when we got out of our last TPO meeting, there was an accident involving a COA bus that was going from the west side to downtown, and I walked out the front door and there it was. But there is service to the west side currently.